Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Hi, this is Tony Dudzik, a.k.a. Pick Guardian.
Mike from Red House Electronics.
Jared Brandon Wound Pickups.
Hey, it's me, Todd Novak. How are you doing? There is so much energy in this room, it's ridiculous.
Woo!
All we've been doing is talking about stuff for almost an hour.
Right.
Knowing we have to do the show.
We should
not have to.
record.
We want to do the show. But there's so many things that we're talking about. So this is good. It's a good start. Lots of things going on. One of the most important I want to share with everybody, we have launched our Patreon program on patreon.com. I would invite you to stop over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs. If you just go to Patreon, you can search for pretty much anything with the words guitar knobs in it. The guitar knobs, guitar knobs. You can use any combination of those things, and you will find us. This is really important for us moving forward as we're trying to grow. We're trying to make sure that we keep bringing you the best content that we can, and that's taking a little bit of cheese these days. So it would greatly help us, keep the show rolling and keep it ad free. Right. I get the opportunity to put ads on here if I want, and that would also help contribute to keeping the show moving forward and growing and getting us to shows and getting us new merch to get to you, and equipment and all the things that go into producing a show. But I don't want to put ads on here. I really don't. So your help will continue to make this ad-free. So make sure you check out patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs. And as I'm speaking about that right now, it is very important that I mention one thing. Tom Burazin, I know I mispronounced that. He is the first one that signed up to be a patron.
Thank you, Tom.
That is huge.
Woo! Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, we're
love you,
official.
Tom.
We are official. We love doing this show,
awesome.
and we get, when we hear things from people, it means a lot. But that was a real big deal for us. Whose phone's blowing up? Tony, is that you? Is that me? It's probably me. Always blame everybody else first.
Right.
You never put it on silence, and you're the host.
I try to put on silence.
You're the host.
Right. Maybe we just got another patron.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Anyhow, so thank you so much to Tom. He was the first one to sign up, and when he gets his gift. So there's if I didn't mention it, but there's tiered structures. So you can choose how much you want to support us with, and we'll send you a variety of different things. So I think we'll probably, being the first one, probably throw him a little something extra stuff in there. I think we can all manage that.
First guy bonus.
Yeah. But one thing that he mentioned that I want to pass on was that he said, quote, signing up on Patreon through PayPal took a little while. It kept saying invalid address. I didn't realize I had to enter more info on the reward page because I hadn't scrolled down to see it. Easy mistake. But I thought I'd mention it just in case anyone else was having the same problem. Again, thank you. We have so many things going on in our guitar world, specifically with this show even. So I could spend an awful lot of time talking about that, but we probably want to talk about guitars and junk right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start off with what's going on this week with Mike.
Okay. So I've been trying to look for a delay pedal. I've kind of looked at the Electro Harmonix Canyon delay. I don't know. Have you guys heard of it? Heard of it at all? Yeah. So anyways, the EHX Canon delay is kind of a crazy pedal. It has multiple settings, And but what's kind of cool that I really like about it is that you can actually attach a tap, like a tap switch pedal to it, so that you can kind of get the tap delay. But it's kind of too confusing for me.
Wait a minute.
I know.
A minute.
I know.
You make some pretty complex pedals, bro.
Bro, but this might be a little too complex.
If you tap 3 times, you'll get
There's no place like home.
You'll get a reverse tremolo that is in
It's
Spanish.
a red sparkle.
What? Yeah, that's exactly what my pedals do. No, it's just like, I mean, like, for one, like, my buddy who works down at the music shop in Dayton, he hits me up. He's like, Mike, man, we just got the Canon delay or whatever, because I've been asking for it since it's like came out, and they're an EHX dealer, so they finally get it in. I mean, they didn't even get it. They didn't even have a chance to throw it on the floor or anything. So. He pulls it out, whatever, he's like, I haven't even touched this thing yet. I don't even know how to operate it. I was like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. An hour later, I finally figured out how to use the tap on it.
Oh, wow.
It was ridiculous.
Okay, so does that mean that you were just having a bad day? Do you think it's like bad design?
No, I don't think it's bad design. It's one of those pedals like that. I think if you use it enough, you'll figure out how to, because there's secondary functions on it too. Like
that's weird.
What I really liked about it was I know, right? Who makes secondary functions on their pedals? But anyways, one thing I liked about it was the tape function. You can actually add distortion and like warble to your like kind of chorus effect to your delay and stuff.
I like
which
it.
is really cool.
I like that.
But anything with tape and tap is really cool. But anyways,
I mean, I can see how it is. When you're looking at this, so this is the Canyon delay, and it looks like Grand Canyon on the front. It's kind of a,
and they
do have a weird sort of way of, it's like they've, the guitar nerds were talking about this very same thing, where it's like their pedals are kind of all over the place with the way that they look. But so you've got 4 knobs.
Okay.
You've got effects level. You have actually, and then a tap divide,
which does quarter, eighth, and dotted eighth, I think.
And then you have the delay knob. You have a feedback knob, but then you have another knob that's not labeled that just says echo, mod, multi, reverse, DMM, tape, verb, oct for octave, shim for shimmer, I imagine, and and then SH.
Which is there's a stutter one on there too.
Stutter halt. It's
a weird.
I don't know what S/H means.
Well, it's a stutter.
Loop.
Yes, it's a stutter hold. So you like hold it and it goes. It's really trippy.
But there's not a tap. Most tap pedals have to.
No. So here's how you actually engage a tap: is if you say you have the pedal on. You just
have the pedal on.
Say it's effect on. The lights.
Effect on.
Lights on. Lights on.
Nobody home.
Yeah. All right. So no one's up. So you have the delay, whatever effect engaged. All you have to do is just click it twice, and it reads in that. Which is really weird because
it the same? It's the same activation switch.
So you go you go bypass, and then you click it again, and you're back into the effect. But what that does is it actually calculates the delay time.
Huh.
So you're just like, and then it reads the delay time. That's your tap, which is really weird because that's the bypass switch is also the tap switch. Really crazy. Or if you don't want to take that route, you can actually plug in an external tap, which is probably what I would do. And it took forever to learn, but once I kind of got it, it was just like I was kind of going with it. But I didn't buy it because I was like, let me look at some other delays. I'm trying to look at, because also JHS released their Pink Panther. I don't know if did you guys see that?
I did see that.
Yes.
Money sound.
Yeah. And so
what are you going for?
So I mentioned it before on this podcast. I have the what is it? The Digitech DigiDelay. I think that's what it is. It's a silver one. I paid $20 for it off of Reverb. Really cheap pedal, but the effects sound amazing. You know, delays.
But you're wanting some sort of mod.
Like this actually has mod on it too. But here's my dilemma with it is to be able to get to the tap function that I use all the time. You have to like double click the foot switch and then hold for like 1 second or 2 seconds, and then it goes into tap mode. But the thing is like, you know, if I'm playing a riff that I don't want delay on, and then I want to go into a riff where I'm doing tap stuff.
Dude, I got the answer for you, bro.
What's the answer?
That Swindler Effects Mine Shaft.
Oh yeah, dude.
That thing, I love that pedal.
I did play that over at NAMM last year.
Yeah,
it was really beautiful pedal.
And it has the two presets. So like you can have your sort of always on delay, and then you can have your I need to trip out delay.
They also do make their what's the clean, you know, their clean art or whatever, the white pedal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
real nice. And then that would be my jam. Knobs too, which is really cool. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Anyways, yeah. So I'm still in search of a delay, tap delay. So if anybody has anything, maybe throw something in that forum. So I'm really taking
or reach out to us.
Reach out to us. Help guide me in the search because I'm trying to find something.
Show the guy who makes complicated pedals how to use a complicated pedal.
Please.
Or you could sponsor him through Patreon.
There it is.
Yeah.
Tony, what's going on with you?
Well, this week has been
besides 2 beers.
2 beers? That's only 1.5.
You got to settle down, Tony.
Yeah, I'm going crazy over here. Look out. This has been the Bound Archtop Pickguard week. I've got like 6 or 7 guards in progress. Some of them, they're way behind schedule. So if anybody out there is a customer of mine who is waiting for their Bound guard, I apologize in advance.
But probably for good reason, which we won't get into.
But I would like to point out that in the August 2017 Vintage Guitar Magazine, the one with Dan Auerbach, Akron's own, on the cover, Pickguardian Bound custom pickguards, archtop guards, are featured on page 99.
Well.
So that means I'll be making a lot more pickguards, hopefully.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I love doing them. They take a long time to do. There's a lot of man hours. The material is expensive.
It's not something that you equate to being hard until
you try to do it.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy doing it because generally I'm replacing guards that have just disintegrated. And in some cases it makes the guitar unplayable.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to put those guitars back into rotation.
Thought of something that would look sweet on
What do you, they were once tortoiseshell.
Black zebras.
Well, there's still, it's celluloid.
So do you replace it with new celluloid or?
Yeah. I mean, I also have an acrylic material that doesn't quite look as good, but
It'll last forever.
For
a longer time.
In theory. But I figure that these new guards in 40 or 50 years, when I'm on the other side of the grass, it won't matter. They'll probably do the same thing because the material really hasn't changed much over the years. It's still the same formula, same process. It's maybe a little more consistent now, but it's still celluloid.
Cool. That's neato. You're in a magazine. You gonna sign that for us?
Yeah, whatever you want.
All right.
Autograph after.
Jared, what's going on?
Well, I just kind of switched gears with buying gear. Usually it's some new guitar that I'm, a project that I'm building or whatever I'm putting together. This time, I finally got me a really cool Marshall cabinet. I've had this cabinet, and it's one of the low tier models. It's the cabinet's made out of particle board, the whole thing. It was made in England, but it's like their low model, affordable. But some kids came over. They're 19, 20 years old, and we were just messing around, and they took the handle off the side of my Marshall cab. They're like, this is particle board. You build pickups. What are you doing with this piece of junk? I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. So I got online and I found a really good deal. I got like a mid to late 70s 1980, and that's the model number, 1980, not the year, Marshall cabinet, slant cab. And it came with newer speakers, 2 greenbacks and 2 vintage 30s, and I took them out and I replaced them with the Heritage Made in England greenbacks. Not the Made in China, it's the Made in England greenbacks. So really excited about that.
What's sweet about the Heritage?
They're made in England.
They're made in England? Is that...
They're not made in China.
So are the greens that were in there made
in China? Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two greenbacks that were 25 watt and 2 vintage 30s, 30 watts. And I think they call that combination like the blues combo, or there's a package you can buy online that says, it's a blues combination, or like a blues type, whatever. I don't care. I want 3 made in England. I want a really nice cab. And
wait, 3 made in England? 3? You're going to put 3 speakers in there?
No, I meant 4.
One big plug.
I'm just checking. Maybe that's where you put the fire, the smoke and the lights. Right. I guess Freely's cab. That'd be sweet.
Flamethrower.
Yeah.
So what's the greenback? So what kind of sound are you getting with those?
I don't know, man.
You
Greens
don't know?
they're pretty MIDI.
Okay. Very MIDI.
But that's kind of the classic Marshall Vox tone that, it's high on the mid range.
Yeah.
But,
what about bass? Do they got bass in them? They got a little thumb?
You can get some bass out of it.
Okay.
It's kind of like the forward bass, like when it starts to drift into.
Listen to old Bad Company and listen to the, guitar and that.
Yeah.
Listen to Paul Kossoff.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer the the Elnicos, like the blues or the Celestian Golds, which are really nice because they handle a little more power.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been a greenback fan.
What are you getting out of those?
It's a totally different sound.
Is it really?
They really do have.
Is it more rounded sound?
Well, they're not I don't think they're as efficient as a speaker, so they tend to they distort earlier, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
They were commonly used in like AC30s
Yeah.
and even some older. I might have used them in Marshalls, although I thought greens were pretty common in Marshalls.
I kind of struck gold with this because with this cab empty with no speakers, should have went market value around $800, and I paid half. Yeah, and I paid.
Gosh.
Wait a minute.
It's a mid to late.
Hold it.
It's a mid to late 70s Marshall cab.
I get that. It's all relative to like what you want and need. I didn't mean to rain on your parade, dude.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Marshall hater over here.
No, not at all. I just holy crap, that's a lot of.
Don't be mad at me.
I'm not
Be mad at the current market, because that's what people will pay for those old cabs, because
story.
they're built differently.
Yeah, they are.
I'm trying to sell a
truth
slant
be
cap
told,
for $40 on Craigslist.
And I'm having trouble.
Yeah.
You see, I'm getting rid of the $40
And it's
one.
insulated too.
Just throw a greenback in it, and I think you'll be set.
Right. So I'm, is there some sort of huge giant sound difference between the? I don't know. I am not an amp speaker connoisseur. I'm not. I'm a pickup guy mostly, and vintage guitar guy. But I figured it was time to get a really good Marshall cab, and I'm gonna add something to that amp wise, and I'll talk about that.
You
at
have a
another
Marshall
episode.
stack at your house.
I do, and the amp is great. It's a JCM 2000 dual super lead. It's a great amp, but I want something more vintage.
So this is really interesting because before we got on the air, one of the things I was running through was like upcoming guests and stuff, and I've reached out to a few speaker manufacturers, and it remains to be seen who we're going to actually get on the show. But this is one of those things, like, we spend a whole bunch of time learning about guitars. We spend a whole bunch of time learning about all the components that make up the sound in the guitars. We spend a whole bunch of time on amps. we know probably the average guitar player knows the least about the thing that's actually spitting the sound out, the speakers.
Yeah.
And what combinations and why. And, all the conversations that we were just getting into, that's going to be at least one upcoming episode,
Yeah.
if not two. I think it warrants.
I can't
probably
wait,
two or
man,
three, to be
because
honest.
I've been not avoiding, but I have never dug into any of that information before.
Yeah. Look for that in the future. We'll give you a heads up when that's coming, maybe.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. I'm glad that you got something that you really like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. As far as me, I recently switched over all my guitar strings to SIT.
Ooh.
Simply because I just wanted to find out why. When I say all my guitar strings, I mean only 4 of them. Only 4 guitars.
Only 4.
Well,
Only.
Is that what you're reporting to your wife now?
The one
That doesn't include the 5 that's under the
right.
under the sofa.
The ones that I'm actively playing a whole lot right now.
Yeah.
I switched them over when I found out that I didn't even know they were made in Akron. And I thought that was pretty cool. And
Rubber City.
yeah.
Holy smokes.
So I switched over. I'm pretty happy with them. I'm very happy with them, actually. So
Have you had to change them yet? Like change the strings yet?
no.
No. Okay.
Okay.
You know what SIT stands for, right?
Stay in tune.
Stay in tune.
Stay in tune. So
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I'm just wondering because I've bounced between Ernie Ball.
I've played Ernie Ball all my life.
Elixir. Right now, what am I on right now? Roto Sound. I do the Roto. Yeah, I like Roto Sound. But
Guitar strings or bass strings?
Guitar strings.
Okay.
Guitar strings. And that's why I'm just asking because I'm always looking for new guitar strings to try. And
I like I said, I did it predominantly because I was like, well, I've tried. I mean, I've once or twice I've tried, Dario, and we did the string. I have one guitar, actually 2 guitars with string joys on them, and I liked them. They're great, but I think because of the show, I was like, oh wait a minute, how did I not know this, and why hasn't anybody told me this?
Yeah.
So I would very much like to, have an episode where we talk to them and find out. So I thought I better understand what these are all about before I tried to do that. So, like I said, I'm pretty happy with the sound I got on them right now. They're very acoustic. They have a lot of musicality to them. I know that sounds weird because they're strings, but I noticed a pretty big difference just in a dry strum, like not plugging in or anything.
brighter or
Just
fuller?
more acoustic, more noise out of them. I don't know why, and I don't know enough about strings to tell you why that happened. And, it might be the placebo effect when you get something new. It's like, my new shoes make me jump higher.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Who's to say?
Yep.
But hopefully we can talk to them and find out.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I try to support smaller manufacturers. Yeah. The strings of choice right now are Kurt Mangan's. He's out in Colorado. I think he used to work for Ernie Ball. And I mean, I grew up on Ernie Ball strings. And I started using, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, the DR strings, because they had a pure nickel string instead of a nickel coated. And Kurt makes a pure nickel string set that I really, really like. And they're nice because they're not super bright out of the box, but they don't change tone much.
Yeah.
So you can, they make your fingers a little dirty though. The pure nickel for some reason.
nickel.
Who cares? You know what I'm saying? If I play for a long time and I got, dark on my calluses and my fingers, I feel proud.
That means you've been working hard.
That's right, man. It's a badge of honor.
It is.
But
Or you have nickel poisoning.
Yeah.
that.
Just don't eat wings or anything.
When I look
after.
at strings, I look at how
or
long
pizza,
did
for instance. Don't eat a lot of pizza afterwards.
Oh boy, how long do strings last though? I mean when I look at a string, it's got to sound good and it's got to last a while.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, different people.
I'm playing pretty hard. You guys are the bendy boys over here. You like to. You're
the
all
bendy boys.
I'm willing
you
to
like
try
to bend.
SIT. I'm willing to try.
No,
SIT.
I think it's. I mean, it's. I've used them in the past, and I think
Yeah.
they're a perfectly good string. I like they're made in Ohio.
Absolutely.
And they're also they make their own.
Yeah,
as
they make them
opposed
right
to,
there in the shot in the place.
You're welcome,
Other
SIT.
bigger manufacturers have a bunch of stuff made in Mexico or
Yeah.
overseas and just label them.
And see,
Yeah.
my hands sweat a lot when I'm playing.
Yeah.
So it's like, especially after like practicing or
So
something.
you're probably on elixirs.
Dude, I roll through. Well, right now I told you I'm on the Roto Sounds. I started with another brand, which I won't mention, but they I did them forever. I mean, ever since I started, and did that for like 3-4 years, and I was having to switch out my packs every week.
Oh.
And so I was buying large bulk size,
Yeah.
whatever, so it kind of evened out.
Yeah.
But like, I just found they were rusting after, and when they start rusting, then you start losing the. What you were talking about, that musicality, that
Yeah.
just I don't
Well,
know,
also
the
on the
fuller
round ones, if you're sweating so
sound.
much,
Yeah, they
the
just- they're
junk's
just
getting
dead.
in there.
Yeah,
You just-
junk's getting in there, and then and then I was always busting the E string, and I thought maybe that was the problem with my bridge or something
you
set
play-
up.
You're a pretty light player, like you
Yeah, I
play
got
pretty hard.
dynamics,
Yeah.
and so it's not like I'm just a heavy hitter. And plus, I'm really percussive too sometimes.
Yeah.
And but still at the same time, I was like, oh man, I really got to fix my guitar playing because I must be, And plus, I use 1.5 millimeter picks, so it's like
my
a quarter.
goodness.
But then I switched to another company, and all these other companies, I haven't had a problem with breaking my E string. It was just that one company.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
finally wrote it.
I always buy extra E strings. Just the high E's.
Well, interestingly enough, the SIT come with extra. They come with an extra E, I think. I'm pretty sure it's an extra E as well as an extra. Was it extra G? Yeah, I think it's an extra E and an extra G.
Yeah.
And if you are doing I believe the mediums, which are tens. No, 11s. They're 11s. They give you a wound G
Oh, that's cool.
and an unwound G.
So they actually
that's really cool.
They
So
throw the extra string in.
yeah. So
So either a wound or a.
I might have to check
unwound.
that out because that's why I like Roto is because they throw in the extra E string.
Yeah.
And I might have to check out these SIT strings.
So the reason that I got them, I went
Yeah.
into the local shop. I mentioned this on one of the other podcasts, and was trying to ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And I was getting this rattle on the bridge, and I couldn't figure out why. And he says, "Well, this is made for a wound G. You need to throw a wound G
third.
on it."
Yeah.
Wound
was the
third
bridge
string.
like gappy
Yeah.
or something?
What?
Nothing. Yeah. Did it have a lot of space in it?
It must have.
You know what I'm saying?
it
Oh,
must
in the
have,
saddle,
Yeah.
Yeah, in the saddle.
Yeah.
Like, was the saddle more open? I said gappy, but
Yeah, gappy. So I didn't make the bridge, so I just rolled with it and said, he goes, yeah, just throw it on and be fine. I put it on, and that was on the Godin archtop, and man, that thing just sang. And I was like, what? This is fantastic. So
Except you can't bend it.
Well, but I'm not
Yeah.
bending it anyways.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah, then you're fine.
My
I'm doing
64
chords with
Junior
that.
had a wound third, and I
Yep.
I had to change the whole tailpiece just so I could
Yep.
put lighter
Yeah.
strings on it, keep it in tune.
Well, anyways, so hopefully, hey, SIT, if you're listening, give us a holler. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Jared, you know what time it is?
It is.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
Yep. I love that little ditty that in there, the 4 on the floor. So Jared's 4 on the floor. He was one of the first guests on the show, and we're just now getting to his 4 on the floor.
Oh yeah.
And he's very excited. He's got a paper. He's got.
I have it all written down. I've been ready to do this
What's
for
it
a long
called?
time.
Bedroom notes. What's it called?
I don't know. His pretty
George
legit,
Costanza
though. I
writing on
didn't
his
bring
hand.
you notes.
I think it's
online.
Cliff Notes.
Scribble.
Crib notes.
Scrib.
He actually typed it, though. That's
Scribbled.
the crazy
I know.
part.
Wow, look at that.
And
Well,
wrote
I
on it with
have
his
5
business
pedals
pen.
on here, so I could choose the 4 out of the 5.
I did 5.
Yeah,
if you
we're only
remember.
going 4. It's
I'm
4
just
on
going to go 4.
4 on the floor, not 5 on the floor.
Yeah. So
I let him slide with that.
Did you? Not everybody's gonna use 5.
I chose my necessities.
All right.
Because these are necessities I have to have.
I'm very excited for this.
Yes.
Let me start out with the Reveal pedal made by Grindstone Audio. Yeah, it's a very cool pedal. It's one of the things I like about pedals is, call me strange or weird, but
You're strange and weird.
Thank you. I like the nice, thick construction of a pedal. And durability means everything to me. I don't care what it looks like. You could have a picture of a skeleton
Banana.
or something. Banana, a tube of toothpaste. I don't care. Ooh. If the thing works good and it functions well and I can identify it from the other pedals, I don't care.
These guys
I
were at
love this pedal.
They were at the
They're local.
Indianapolis guitar show, right? They're local to Columbus, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're local, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I just pulled it up. On
Rick
here.
and Andy.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
dude. They're the inside of their pedals are phenomenal.
Yeah,
They look beautiful. I mean, they're really
they're well put together.
Yeah, like there's a lot of detail put into it.
Yeah, Andy travels with
He's a
national acts and
Yes,
he's well-known tech, and
that's a sweet enclosure too.
And what's that one called again?
that is called the Reveal pedal.
Okay,
and,
so tell us what it does.
well, it sounds good as a lead boost or always
You were
on.
just gonna say it sounds,
Sounds
good. And I was
good.
like, man,
It sounds really
You
good.
know how this
That's
goes.
it.
Come on.
It sounds awesome.
Well, what kind of pedal is it?
It's it reveals.
It's a boost.
It's
It's basically a boost pedal. It's hard to put in words. I can't put stuff in words
Boost.
very well.
Say it with us.
It boosts, but it just opens everything up. It's like a big ray of light just bursts through the building that you're
It's like a
when
ray
you're
of light
playing.
was boosting through.
It's a boost of boostness.
Is it
Wearing
called-
a bustier.
does it like break up though? Like,
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
when you crank
it goes up to 28 dB.
28 dB.
That's
Yeah.
pretty high for
That's
a boost.
pretty high.
Yeah, so
Does it
it's
go to 11?
No, it goes to 28. We just covered that, Tony.
right dB. Yeah, before it's got a teaser mode switching, so you can. That means if you just set your foot on the pedal and keep it there and not tap it, it'll be on.
It's just momentary.
It's a momentary, yeah.
Cool.
So, yep, it's just got one giant knob, and I can actually.
I don't know how we've talked about knobs so much, and that's all the first time that we've all.
It's got a big giant. It's huge. It's a big knob. And you can actually turn it with your foot. I'm serious. I couldn't be any more serious.
No.
I've got big 14-inch
Drop a
feet,
toe on
man.
that knob.
You got
I can-
14.
I do have
Careful.
a 14-inch shoe.
Careful.
I can turn it up and down with my foot. I have it written down.
So you take your shoe and you rub the knob,
Yeah.
and it up and down,
Yes.
Soccer
and,
knows that.
and then it
Side to
boosts.
side.
You get a boost.
You get a boost.
You get a boost.
Oh, boy.
It was bound to happen at some point. I can't believe it's taken us this long.
I know I'm ridiculous, man, but it's actually a great pedal.
Sweet. I
Okay,
mean,
super.
it does look
No,
beautiful.
and that's
It
a-
really does.
I will concur.
Top mount, right?
Yeah, top,
Yes.
Yeah, top mount.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
another really good
properly
thing about
top mount. Sorry.
it. Yep. It's pretty good. It's a great pedal. I use it all the time.
And the whole thing is made out of like billeted aluminum, right? It's not.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
like it's a legitimately soundly built.
I mean,
thing.
even the knob looks sick. Is that like is
a-
that
yeah,
aluminum?
but it's-
Is it-
that's
is
a
it-
huge knob.
Well, that's what the. Yeah, that's. I mean, just looking at it, like I mean, it's nice because you
they
can
really
kind of.
buffed it
It's
out.
25% of the size of the pedal.
Yeah, it's huge.
It looks like an old knob on like a 70s stereo.
I don't. You ruined it for me right there. I want to think about the old knobs. Anyways, okay. Let's get
Hey
next
man,
one.
I'm just when
Next.
I say knob, man, I just mean
Wait,
the
how's
actual knob.
this switch on there? Like, is it like a clicking switch or is it?
No,
is
No,
it
it's a quiet
it's
switch.
clickless.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome,
It's
awesome.
good, man.
Yeah,
It's a good pedal.
I was jealous I didn't
And
get
it's
to
a
play.
slant front too, so
Yeah.
viewing
It
you
kind of
can look
has.
it up.
It's kind of around that. I mean, to me, it looks
It's a bigger. It feels like a taller pedal.
A taller pedal. I mean, it looks like almost the size of the EHX Nano, but it looks pretty tall. Is that
It's
right?
bigger than that.
Is it bigger than that?
Yeah. Anyways, it's a slant front. Oh, and it's the help me out with the terminology here, but it doesn't have a standard flat base plate. It's the I'm making the hand motion of two hands coming together, cupping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
if
gotta
you
get
open
Rick in
up
here, man.
So like on a standard pedal, you open up the back and you still have the box that all the guts.
You
are in.
have a plate on the back that you open.
Right. So this one is a 2-piece, so that's easier to work on.
It's similar to like the Strymon builds, where it's like half.
Yeah, half.
Half. Yeah, I don't know. The body's cup, if that makes sense.
The bodies spoon each other.
Spoon each other.
Andy's gonna kill us.
Yeah. Somebody tell us what the actual word is because we're idiots.
Yeah. We're
All right.
dumb.
Give us number 2.
So, pedal number 2 I've had all my life, and it's very sentimental to me.
Even as a baby?
You are a
Not
sentimental
quite.
fool when it comes to guitar gear,
I am,
which
but
I think it's great.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
That's true. That's very true. It's a Yamaha CH-10M2 chorus pedal.
So from the marketing geniuses at Yamaha.
It's very old.
What
My dad bought it brand new like 30 years ago. When we got him.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, maybe.
Early 80s.
Okay, so it's a delay.
Yeah, no, it's a stereo chorus.
Stereo chorus.
Yep.
You said that.
It's got a super rugged enclosure. I mean, it's back when it's all metal. There's almost no plastic on this thing. It is the input and output are on the side. Mm-hmm. The power's in the front. That's
It's weird because when you showed that to me, it looks
super 80s.
It looks super chintzy.
it is.
Yeah.
It's got a pop metal.
Yeah,
It's like a pop
but
metal.
what's interesting
body.
is that the knob area is recessed,
Right.
so it's kind of a weird
The whole
design.
it's not a flat surface. It's the pedal part is up real high, and then it
Where the knobs
goes
are,
way
drops
down.
down,
It's like a
recessed.
valley.
Yep. So that whole part about the knobs being recessed.
Yeah, look this up, man. It's a vintage.
And it has a 1/4-inch jack that's like staring at you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the second output.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let me
different.
get to that.
Okay.
It's got only 2 knobs, and there's a one knob for speed and the other one is depth.
Yep.
And I'm saying that from memory. And it's got 2 different outputs, and one.
So help us out with the output. What's the deal with the output?
Yeah. So the side output is your normal out,
Yes.
right? And the second output is a direct out for stereo.
Oh.
That's where you're going to plug into a totally different amplifier.
Okay.
And
That's
you have
kind
it
of
on the opposite side of the.
strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not strange. It's
not
true
strange
stereo.
for you because you have dual orange amplifiers.
that I run that with. And it is everything I had ever thought it could be.
Yes.
My dad, he didn't have all this good stuff back in the day because he was trying to raise 3 kids, growing boys. So, so I got to actually use the pedal as intended.
That's cool.
Intended. So
That's cool.
I love that pedal.
I'm glad it's still rolling.
Oh yeah, it's
All right.
still going, man. I use it way more than he did. But
So aside from the sentimentality of it, sound wise, why do you like it so much?
what I love what I love to do with it, I like to turn the depth up and the speed down.
Okay.
So it's not like it's a bad example. Sorry guys.
It's okay.
But it's not a hokey sound when you do it that way. It takes the 80s out of it, It's more of a gradual, just real slow. You can tell there's 2 different amps, and it's heaven to me.
Okay.
So I kind of use it, I guess, to more or less enhance my tone, not for an actual stereo effect, but more of just an on all the time enhancement
Okay.
kind of deal.
So just
Sort of beefing up your tone a little bit.
Well,
Because the way when I do my chorus, like a lot of times, like, you know, I mean, I don't get the really wishy-washy kind of stuff going.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll actually kind of turn the depth up and turn the rate all the way down.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, and I to me, I mean, I say it beefs up my tone.
It's a little more like a phaser.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's an
You got to get
enhancer.
it. You got to get it slow enough to where
phaser
it's
enhancer.
not. Yeah.
It just overall enhances the experience being in the room, having two separate amps at two separate places.
Yeah.
It's just ear candy to me.
Ear candy.
It's very enjoyable. That's why. That's really why I use it. You know, not to do
I
that.
like the idea that Jared's sitting there with his dual orange amps at like 10 with this tiny guitar making his face going, this is enjoyable.
I love it. It beefs up my tone.
It does, man.
Yeah.
I love that pedal.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Number 3 is my Morley Powerwall volume pedal. I love it. The reason being, I do have an older wah, but it's the kind with the rotary, the lead contact, so you can hear the when you use the pedal.
Right.
But this pedal uses a laser, an optical laser, instead of the old school.
Nice.
Is it
Whatever
one of
it's
these
called
ones?
thing. Yeah. Now it's got a boost on the wah, and the boost is only on when the wah is on. So I never use the boost.
Is that just a side knob? Or
It
do you
is.
have to
It's
click
just a
it to
side knob.
activate it?
Is it like that?
You have to click. You have to click the tiny little the normal pedal thing for the wah to come on, and that also activates the boost. And I have the boost turned all the way down.
And you said it's not noisy?
Not noisy at all.
Not noisy at all.
No.
And is it a side click or do you have to? So like I had
It's a side click.
Yeah, see right there, like you have to actually
yeah.
turn it
'Cause
on
I had
like
an
a
old
pedal.
Morley, like the old one where the logo still had the guy with the Morley shoes on or whatever. And in order to engage the volume control on, you had to. The click was at the base of the
Right,
actual.
so you were
pedal,
all the
you'd
way
go
up.
all the way
Yeah.
down,
Yep.
and then pull it all the way back up.
Yeah, so that's another thing I don't like about regular wahs. You're all the way up when you turn the thing on, and it's just an ear piercing.
So you could actually use this for like a fixed wall, right? Pretty
Oh,
much.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Like you just set
Absolutely.
it to something, and then you just click it on.
Yeah,
use
just
them.
make sure the pedal's tight, you know.
Yeah.
But
sure.
yeah, you can. I don't do that, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
do though.
I mostly use it for volume.
Okay.
But you know, I do use the wah once in a while.
Yeah.
But you got to have a volume because the amps I use, usually the gain's up all
The
the
two
way,
orange
I never
amps?
used the volume.
and it's not going through an effects processor.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can have your gain all the way up on your amp and your volume a little lower, and then you just pull back on the volume pedal and you got your clean, and then
yeah.
up. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's what I use that
I've
for.
always thought about it, never have.
What, the volume?
Yeah, doing a volume pedal.
Dude, I have a volume pedal. And
It's nice.
I'm sure
yeah,
you do.
I have the what is it? The Dunlop Mini. I don't know.
Oh,
what
yeah, the Mini.
It's the mini
Yeah.
volume. I think you've seen it when I brought
Yeah,
it to Chase.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, basically, you can use your volume as a gain. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So that, you know, instead of turning the thing up on your volume on your guitar,
Yeah.
your guitar is all the way up all the time.
Yeah.
So if you have a guitar and if you turn your volume down on the guitar, you're losing highs out of your pickups, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if that's the way it's set up. But on the gain pedal, you're still getting a full on.
You mean the volume pedal?
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So,
Using as a gain.
because the way
by
I would use the volume pedal is like I'd keep it at unity, and then I would leave a little bit of space for some like solos, like solo
Right.
volume,
Yeah.
and that's how I'd use mine. Because originally I was using a boost pedal, and I just threw that after my reverb, like at the end of my chain. But I don't know, like I like being able to manipulate the volume.
Well,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Another advantage of
Playing
doing
with
that
my-
is
yeah.
you're not hitting that gain pedal, and that's just one less
Noise,
click
issue,
noise. You know, all of a sudden noise change.
Exactly.
But
I'm always full on, baby.
oh yeah.
All right, what's number 4? Get us through this dang thing.
Oh my goodness.
It's a good
My
list so far.
holy grail reverb pedal. I love that thing, man.
It's the old
Holy
one.
Grail.
It's the old one.
The huge one.
It's made in the USA. It has spring, room, and flurb.
Flurb.
Yep. So there's 3 choices.
I mean, who
spring.
here actually uses the flurb though?
I don't.
It's pretty cool, actually. It's
don't know.
weird.
Yeah, I had the Nano.
Yeah.
I used the flurb. It's cool to play around with.
What does the flurb do?
Yeah, that's kind of how it sounds.
It's flurby.
It's
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense. It's like I would say it's kind of almost like a phasey kind of sound,
Okay.
right?
Let me ask you this for an example.
Okay.
Have you guys ever heard
Need a
the
T-shirt with him.
you know the
Let me
birthday
ask you
song, the Zoom Captain Zoom guy that sings the birthday song to you when it's your birthday, and you can buy the record with your name.
What are you talking
Captain
about?
Zoom. I'm sure
Blank
somebody out
stares
there
and
listening
crickets.
knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Nope.
So let's move on.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a really it's a crazy space cadet-y weird noise.
Okay.
It's cool.
I'll trust you on that. To just give a little bit of perspective, last time I was over at Jared's and we were hanging out playing guitars and junk, and I looked down and he was getting this just awful noise out of the amp. Oh, it was weird to playing the Mythos pedals,
Right.
And they sounded amazing in my house. I took them to his, and it sounded like garbage.
Right.
And I said, and he's like, these pedals are not good. And I was like, no, man. It's not the pedals. This board, I'm looking at the pedals on your board. I'm like, this looks like someone got a box of them at a garage sale in 1982. and
I got old
you
pedals,
just uncovered them or something.
No,
It's probably one of those. I'm fairly
lost.
certain.
I had the problem was a small jumper cable.
Yeah.
And
It ended up being a jumper, but I mean the pedals that you're talking about they're older pedals.
They are, but they're solid, and they're what I like, and they're what I use. I didn't choose them because they're old. I think I bought them, most of them, when they were brand new.
Yeah,
And I've just had them forever, and
those
those are my necessity
your
pedals.
babies.
I have other pedals. I have a Red House pedal I love, but
It's kind of complicated though.
and a few.
Dude, secondary functions. I mean, who does secondary functions on their pedals? Oh my gosh.
But it.
Gosh.
It's a great pedal. That
It's
is a
manufactured, man,
fantastic
I'm telling
tremolo.
you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for letting me share my 4 pedals.
You
That's
are
beautiful,
welcome.
Jared.
I appreciate
Really was.
your appreciation.
Oh yeah.
So our main topic was we got to hang out all together but separate, which was really interesting, at our local guitar show, the second one of the year. Tony had a booth, Mike had a booth, Jared had a booth that I basically squatted at, and we got to hang out at the show, and it was super, super fun. And I came up with the idea basically of saying, okay, look, we get 1,500 imaginary knobs dollars to spend at this show. What are we each coming away with? So, at this particular guitar show, this isn't one that is like a retail industry kind of a show. There are some, like Sweetwater just had one. I think it was last week.
Gearfest?
Yeah. And that's basically just a big giant retail open house.
Yeah.
This is
Buy, sell,
all
trade.
old gear. Most of the people who are there are either guitar shops or builders or makers of various things, such as the 3 in this room. So the challenge was, you get $1,500. What are you going to buy here? And we didn't actually have those $1,500, so we decided, let's talk about that, because there's all kinds of really cool, funky stuff there. Let's see. Spin the wheel. Who goes first? Jared.
Thank you.
Nope. You just got through talking a whole bunch. Let's hear from Tony.
Who?
Oh.
Oh, me. Okay.
Okay.
So my pick was actually similar to a guitar I used to own.
Okay.
And it's a very oddball Martin guitar. Back in the 1980s, Martin made a series of electric solid body guitars. And I had one back in the 80s. And it actually was my first major repair because a buddy of mine owned it, snapped the headstock off on it. So it was my first headstock repair. And I think I did a pretty good job on it, but I don't have it anymore.
What's the model again?
Well, the one that I had is an EM18.
Okay.
That
Martin
one,
EM18.
yes. And it's kind of they sandwiched maple and mahogany, and it was a neck through. And I think on the EM18s, they also made a bass version, but I think they made probably less than 1,000 of those.
What years? Like
1980 through 82.
Do you think that was kind of like their answer to Ovation, being acoustic electric?
No,
but
this is
Ovation
not
also
at
made
all.
some solid bodies too.
Yeah.
It's very early.
I
Those ones are
think
weird.
that they were just looking to get into the electric market.
Right.
I mean,
Acoustic electric.
back in the 60s, they had kind of like a semi-hollow electric guitar.
Right.
But of course, Martin is probably more well known for all of their acoustics. Over the years.
Probably.
Yeah. Except for people like me that buy the solid bodies.
Right.
Well, anyhow, so long story short, my pick at the show, a gentleman had a 1983 EM28, so they made the EM18 for 3 years. The EM28 came out, and it was a mahogany body with a neck through. So it was actually a little lighter in weight. And
Give us a body, like, help us imagine the shape here.
it's a double offset. It looks
Double
like
offset.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's
So like a Thunderbird?
no.
Firebird, rather?
It's got
Not
its
a bass.
it's got its own shape. I mean,
It has its own shape. Okay.
you
It's a
have
double
to-
offset.
yeah. Here,
No.
we'll do
keep
that
going.
later.
Keep-
We'll
yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going. Anyhow, it's got an odd shaped headstock too. It's kind of like rounded.
Okay.
When you see the photo, you'll understand. Anyhow, gentleman had
Rounded like a Burns?
yeah, almost yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very
All right,
similar.
so it's got a little curl back to it.
Yes, it definitely does.
Okay. Almost like a
And-
scroll, like not a scroll.
Sort of scrollish, but not,
Getting scrolly, but not full bore Burns.
yes, not
Gotcha.
full bore burns. But anyhow, so a guy had one there for $11.99, and that was my pick. I knew, I figured I'd have to put another couple $100 in to get the pickups right and everything.
Sure. Well, Jared was at the show, so done. You got
Hello.
that taken care of.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that was my choice because one, it's very rare. The EM28s, apparently they only made about 200 of them.
Did you actually buy that?
No,
Oh, you should have bought it.
I should have, but
You
you
didn't.
know, then my wife
He'll
would
be
have
at the
killed
next
me.
show. Be at the next show.
Yeah. So anyhow, that was my pick of the show.
Cool. What color?
This one was actually like a sunburst, but it was like a vintage burst,
Okay.
tobacco burst.
Interesting. How about the neck? What's the neck look like? Like inlays. There's dots, traps.
I think that one just had dots.
Okay. Interesting. And pickups.
Well, what should have been in it is the ones that I've seen have old either DiMarzios or they also use some Duncan ones in there. And there was one of the pickups appeared to have been replaced in this one, so it probably would have needed to have something done.
Dual humbuckers.
Dual humbucker, yes.
Okay. Any other fancy stuff on it? Like tone selectors or vibrato or anything
I think
like that?
they did do a pickups in and out of phase switch
Okay.
on it. They had a little mini toggle on it.
Was there an equalizer type thing, like a 3-band or?
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Very interesting.
yeah, basically volume and tone.
All right.
But it's such an oddball thing, and they were never very popular. And like I said, I think they only made about 200 of this particular model.
It's got a lot of knobs and stuff on it.
Yeah, it's got phase switch, probably obviously pickup selector, that sort of thing.
It reminds me almost. It almost is getting into Warwick bass territory with the body shape. Just a little bit. You could, if you saw them in a lineup and you said these are all made by Warwick, you'd be like, all right, I buy that. Not as extreme, but the horns kind of drift out a little bit. They're just, like he said, offset. So I was thinking the body itself was offset. But it's actually the
horns are just kind of
out a little bit.
Odd.
It's interesting.
Can I say it, Tony?
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so
this
for
does have
those
a lot
who
of
aren't
switches.
getting the phone passed around to
I
them
know.
that are listening, go check it out, see what you think. Tell us what you think. Maybe Tony can post an image of that up on there. We'll put our pics up here as best we can.
Where can they find that?
What?
Where can they find those
Oh, at the
pictures?
Guitar Knobs podcast Facebook group. There's so many platforms that we're trying to keep them straight. Yeah, that's the Facebook group. If you guys have weird, funky stuff, then show it to us on the Facebook group.
Awesome.
Excellent choice. Mike.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I ended up kind of caught my eye over there was a Fender Mustang. This is an older '60s model. I don't know exactly the year. I barely had time to walk around, but it just popped out to me, man. Like, because you kind of do, before you set up table or whatever, we kind of just did a walk around, and I'm kind of set on amps right now, like I'm not in that amp mode, and I'm kind of not in the guitar mode, but it was that Fender Mustang. And what the funny thing is I actually just recently bought a Fender Mustang bass, and so something about the short scales they've been kind of grabbing me or whatever, because I have the Fender Duosonic, which is a short scale. And I don't know, man. I just love the short scale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did it have a CBS headstock on it, like the big headstock or a small headstock?
It had I think the larger headstock.
The big headstock.
And what color was it?
Yeah, it had like a sunburst.
Okay.
It was a sunburst look to it. It was beautiful, and it had just the right age on that sunburst. Like, it didn't look too like new and cheesy, and then also didn't look too worn out, like it's been run over. It just had nice age onto
It
it.
could never be too worn out.
I know exactly. Exactly.
That's cool. Did you catch how much that was? It was within the $1,500.
It was
range.
within the $1,500 range.
That had to be an old good one then, if it was that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, you could pick up a nice vintage one for about that much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. So it was in my price range.
Good.
So I'm not spending beyond it.
Have you?
Yeah.
So, is that something that you are interested in actually owning, purchasing?
Me, well, like I said, right now I have the Duosonic, which kind of that kind of gets me. Like I have the Strat, but I mean that kind of. I feel like when I pick up these, more offset guitars, I feel like I'm kind of venturing into a different territory. I mentioned this on the Chase Guitars podcast. Was like, you pick up a different guitar, you kind of almost get inspired different. You play different things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and so with these shorter scale offset kind of guitars, I'm kind of playing something I don't normally play on a Strat. So yeah, I don't know, man. I've been digging them. And that's
Well, the other nice thing about the short scale is you can use a heavier gauge string.
Yeah,
11s
exactly.
or 12s even.
Yeah, you can.
And they really come to life.
Yeah, I mean, because before I actually went and bought the Duosonic, because I have a Fender made in Mexico Duosonic, which feels phenomenal. I mean, it just feels ridiculous.
Does
But
it feel bueno?
es bueno, muy bueno, and but before I bought it, my friend that works at the music shop, he was like, he's like, man, I don't know. He was like, it is a shorter scale. So he was like, it might be a little weird for you, going to the shorter scale. And so he was like, why don't you, he's like, I have a shorter scale Mustang just hanging around. It was, an older one too. I don't know. I didn't catch the year on it, but, it was an older, made in USA one or whatever. And, he was like, just play on that Mustang. I'm not using it, whatever. He's like, play on that for a while. Take it for a couple weeks. I had it for like 3 months, I think. And
You're that kind of borrower.
no, dude, bro, let me tell you. No, I mean, we done the, he does the same things with pedals. We just kind of like, it's the borrow trust system.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Barter.
And so anyways, I had that guitar for a while, and I kind of like fell in love with it. And when I had to give it up, I actually offered him. I was like, dude, how much do you want me to give you for this?
Yeah,
and
that's the best way to sell stuff.
Then he was like, man, he was like, I can't sell it. He was like, this is my like one of my favorite guitars. And I was like, no.
I believe Fender made those 2 models, the Mustang and the Duosonic, for more like students, right? Because of the scale.
They're
The smaller scale.
Right.
It's like the Bronco.
Yeah, they made the 24-inch scale, which was pretty common. But they also
Jaguar too.
Yeah, they made a 22.5-inch scale, which is ridiculously short scale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Feels like you need to have one of those with your tiny guitar collection.
No.
I think he should have a Steinberger guitar.
Oh, man. All right. Nice one there, buddy boy. Thank you. Jared, what do you got?
Twofer. So I stayed under 15, and then I'm going to take home 2 guitars. I'm going to take home an Epiphone Emperor and
Emperor. Yes.
And this one's gorgeous that I saw there.
That was a beautiful guitar.
2 F holes. It's got the offset tailpiece. It's a jazz guitar. Trapeze, yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's got
That's called the
arch top.
frequencator.
an old what?
It's he's going to tell us.
It's called the frequencator.
Okay. You know more than me about it.
I do.
It's got I just love these Epiphones. They're fancy. They've got binding all over the place.
Those are the same ones that were on the Rivieras.
Beautiful guitar.
They got class on them.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Is that a?
It's got a mini humbucker on there.
Is that a made in Korea one, or is it?
I'm gonna guess it was actually the guy who had it for sale. I think most of his guitars that I looked at were all fake. Like they were, had this or that was wrong. There was an issue with each one not being all the way authentic. But anyway, that didn't matter to me. I really like the guitar. If I'm going to buy a guitar and it's just a case of maybe replacing this or that to make it how I want, I don't care, But
And you said it had a mini humbucker?
it has a mini humbucker right up at the neck.
But that wasn't attached to the body, was it?
No, it's a Johnny Smith type.
Okay, so it's attached to the
Side of the neck, probably.
Yeah, right at the end of the neck or the pick guard.
Yeah, that one is attached to the pick guard, I believe.
Yeah, very well could be. I didn't look at it that close.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a Johnny Smith.
2 bolts right on the pick guard.
Yeah, if there's 2 on the pick guard, then that's what. Yeah, it's always attached.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then you have a control knob on the actual pick guard.
There's 2 of them,
which is fanned out, so it's not flush with the actual body. It's kind of positioned out so you can get it.
Yeah, there's 2 on this one. One is, I imagine one's a tone and one's a volume.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's all you need.
a volume.
And then it's got a really cool headstock. It's got the like the Sheraton style headstock.
Yeah, it's like
The flowers
going up the headstock.
Yeah, I believe those are called the tulips. No,
Gold Grover
the lilies.
tuners.
The flowers.
Binding all
Something.
around.
What?
Tony's is giving Todd.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tony, what's it
sour
called? Officially.
There is I can't think of the official name now.
It's a
That's
floral
convenient.
design.
we'll call it a florally
Yeah.
design.
A florally.
Someone out there will know what it is.
Yeah.
A
The
floral
tulips
vine.
are the tuning keys.
So that thing was like $550. Nice. So
And that's so people who can't see your phone right now.
right.
So that what does it look like?
It's a sunburst.
Is that heavy, Like a thick sunburst is a light burst.
I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just a sunburst.
I guess
Pretty heavy.
what I'm saying is it does the actual dark intrude greatly on the rest of the body, or is it just kind of hanging out around?
Looks
the
like
rim?
it guts about like
The upper part of the body
The horn,
is mostly black,
Yeah.
like with the horn and
Gotcha.
and then
It's a soft cutaway. It's like a real
it is
rounded,
very soft cutaway.
yeah,
And then it's bright
floating bridge.
Yeah, you know how you have the lower part of the body where it circles around.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of like where the burst is. If you can imagine that.
Tony really wants to tell you what that's called.
What is it called, Tony?
It's called a sunburst.
That's right.
It's a proper sunburst.
I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next guitar because I've got money left, right? So
Excellent.
I thought I would take home a Fender Telecaster floral bass. It's a Tele bass, floral, blue floral.
try to describe that.
It's if you don't know what blue floral is, you need to look it up because it's Fender.
That's a cool one. That's probably a Japanese one, right?
Yeah, most likely. He wanted, I don't know, $700, $800 for it.
That's still a pretty fair price.
It is. Fender put out
That's
floral,
a negative Ghost Rider.
a blue floral, and a pink paisley in 1968. And back in the hippie days. Mm-hmm. And they're, if you can find original
Well, it looks
ones,
like mod art. Like they're mod style flowers, so it's not proper daisies and stuff. They're all kind of like moddy looking.
It's actually wallpaper.
Yeah,
It was made by Board and Company right here in Columbus, and the same way with the Paisleys.
yeah,
And that's why if you see an old Paisley, it's generally all cracked up and crinkled.
yeah.
right?
Because
The glue.
The
the
original.
glue gave
Yeah.
up, and then they put a thick layer of polyurethane.
Yeah, like
on
I
the
said,
top.
original ones are worth a lot of money. I mean,
Well,
big
this
time.
one's interesting because it just has the one single pickup.
right. It's a Tele bass.
It's basically the original, like the 1951s and 52
Yeah.
P basses were set up that way, just with a little single coil pickup.
Yeah, and then
That's all you need
But
on a
it
bass.
also has almost like Telecaster style bridge saddles. So there's two of them. It's really that part
there's
is
only
very
4
interesting.
strings.
Well, yeah,
It's a Tele bass.
It also has
but
a
it
Tele
doesn't look
headstock,
like
too.
a Tele. Like you're looking at it, and it's like, well, I mean, it kind of looks like a Tele. This is a weird bass.
It's a
Well, it's-
Tele
it has-
morphed
it has
into
the
a
cut,
bass,
so
man.
well, yeah, but it's an offset.
Yeah, it's a Strat,
It's kinda like
Strat
a-
body or P bass
Yeah,
body.
but it has the bridge. Sorry, not the bridge. It has the control plate, like a Tele control
a
plate.
Tele got married to a Tele guitar, got married to a
and
precision
it's
bass.
like metallic,
or jazz bass.
bright,
That was his
turquoisey blue. Is there spark? There's no sparkle on that, right? It's just metallic.
just what they
metallic
spray
blue
around
on the
edges.
side,
Yeah.
yeah, on the edges.
And it's got clear plexi pick guard.
Now,
Didn't have the flowers. The
I
thing
wanted to ask Tony this. Now, did they actually come out with floral bass and floral
Teles.
Tele basses? Now, the basses back in the 60s?
Well, yeah, that
Did they
was.
come out with those?
There were actually, there were Paisley basses and
Floral basses.
floral basses.
Yeah, and they did come
And-
out in the 60s.
Yeah,
too.
and Telecaster guitars both were available. I don't know if they actually made Strats back then in those. I know that they reissued them in the
And the
90s.
Stratocasters.
Strats and
Yeah, because I've never seen a vintage Strat.
but I'm pretty sure it was just Teles
Floral.
and Tele
Interesting.
basses.
If it were up to me personally, I
is
would
up to you.
like a blue paisley instead of the floral.
Well, you need to talk to Bill Crook, the Paisley King.
Yeah, I've seen him around.
Yeah.
Bill Crook, the Paisley King.
So I'm taking home a bass and a guitar from this guitar show.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I like that, and it has a nice maple neck on it, maple fingerboard too. So
Yeah.
Finger.
All you need is a drum set and you get the band back together.
I got one. I got a Zico set.
anyways, drum podcast is down 2 doors to the left.
Right.
Is that
Okay.
the drum heads?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy.
My new podcast. Very niche market.
Yeah. Let's see. So I had also $1,500 because that I gave to myself. And originally, when I started walking around, I spotted two things right off the bat, and I was like, "Yep, these two." And I told all these guys, "I got my things, and they're right there. These are the things." But I switched it up because I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, if I really had this money, I probably wouldn't have gotten those two things.
Wait, did you break the initial, did you tell them about the initial pricing that you gave us?
No.
You gave us
It's $1,500.
You gave
$1,500 is what we said.
Initially,
it was going to be 1,000, and everybody's like, "Oh, why can't we have 1,500?" Fine. It's
No, Todd
hypothetical
just
money.
I
just
said
wanted to fit
you
both
open
of his
it up
guitars.
with 15. You really do.
Yeah, that takes you to a little different.
Well, it's
Yeah.
weird because that's right. It's just below the big good stuff. It
Right.
kind of guarantees you to get two pretty good things, but not one really amazing thing.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird area to play. The two things that I originally chose, I knew in the long run were just going to disintegrate. So I just didn't do that. But what I did do, I picked a 1980 black on black Gibson Sonics, which Tony's giving me the child.
I don't even remember what the heck they look like.
Looks like a bad Les Paul.
It looks like a smoothed out Les Paul with a really cool it's got the kind of like the pick guard, like if you can imagine like a Tele Custom has that sort of wrap around, it goes all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's that. And it's got a simple headstock. It's got like the Melody Maker style headstock, so it doesn't have it just doesn't have all the Les Pauliness, and and I like it because I'm pretty sure this could be a bad memory, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Rick Ocasek play one of those at some point, and I just remember seeing that being like cool. It may have been another star at the time, but I'm pretty sure it was him. I know he played an SG an awful lot, but anyways, so I saw that, and that was $750. And then right next to it was a 65 Gibson Melody Maker, cherry and black with a vibrato on it.
Nice.
That's a solid choice.
I mean, I'm like, these two right here, come on.
Yeah.
They're the two sort of, semi-odder ones in the Gibson game, and I like those. I like the odder ones. And so I said, "Would you take $1,500 for both of these?" They said yes. I just wanted to
So you actually offered?
Those two models
I felt
are also...
bad because I went
Sorry.
back and I said, "I'm sorry. This was this," and I explained the whole deal. He's like, "Oh man, that's cool. Like, don't worry about it."
You broke his heart,
They're
and
both
then you tried to
entry-
make up to him.
Those are both entry level as well. Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're entry level guitars, like student guitars.
Well, the Sonics was not an entry level guitar.
No?
If I remember, is that the one that had the wood core and then they made like a polyurethane? It's basically a plastic body with a wood core, or plywood or whatever it was. They're pretty.
Well, thanks
they're
for
pretty
correcting
horrible.
me on that.
I mean,
But no,
I've
they
heard that.
they came out with them, and the Melody Makers were definitely meant
Those
to
are
be like a
legit.
student guitar,
Yeah.
as were Les Paul Juniors and things like that. But
Yeah. Great guitars.
But I think the Sonics, and there were a couple of others that were in the same family of that style, and they were definitely more upscale.
If you find like a 60s Melody Maker in Pelham Blue, oh my gosh.
yeah, for sure.
Wow. Is it because it greens over the years because the finish kind of yellows, so it turns green.
Yeah, so that body was made out of something called resin wood. Stop it. It's a cool guitar. It looks really cool, man. But it was kind of like that whole around the Marauder area.
That's the other model I was thinking of. Yeah.
I think they're cool. They look punk to me. It's like a punk rock Les Paul. That's why I like it. That's
What
why
a
I like
rebel. It's like a Les Paul that's a rebel. Yeah.
it. Right. It's
Decided to leave the family.
I'm
Right.
so cool with
at
my
no point
resin-wood guitar.
are you sitting down with your giant Morley pedal going. It's like no. It's all 6 or none with that one, baby.
Yeah.
It's actually what my tattoo says.
Nice.
Not baby. I didn't put baby on it. Just it's all 6 or none. Anyways. Well, that was super fun. Yeah, I would love to have those guitars. And I thought the price on those was pretty fantastic. They were in
Well, the
great
Melody
shape.
Maker in particular.
They were
was a
both in
really good
excellent
price.
shape, and they were all original. But I guess now's the
good
time to
thing.
buy those. There was actually 2 Sonics there, 2 black Sonics at the show. One was laying down on a table for some reason, and then the other
Oh
one,
yeah, I saw that guy.
He just didn't bring a guitar stand.
I guess so. Yeah, or someone bought it from him. I don't know why anybody would do that, but okay. So we love guitar shows. Get out to your local guitar show.
Absolutely.
Go check it out. Buy something. Just buy something. It doesn't even matter. Just
Buy a strap.
Buy a strap.
Yeah, buy a
Go
strap.
on the
Yeah.
internet and look up guitar shows, and there's usually a big long schedule of all the guitar shows in the United States.
They're fun too.
I was telling Jared, I said, I honestly, I could hardly sleep the night, like the whole night through before. Because I love it. It's like Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Todd,
I'm not having to sell things.
Todd, I'm not
though.
gonna
That's
lie,
a different
yeah.
story.
being a vendor there's nothing better than going to a show and knowing a lot of the
Pressing the
vendors
flesh.
there. It's like you're there with your peers. It's camaraderie.
Yeah.
You get to just talk jazz with everybody.
Well, what's really funny is when Todd said it's like Christmas. It really is. I mean, because I was being a vendor this time. So
is Christmas
I'm setting up a table, but I see Todd walk in front of the table all the time.
Yeah, I just keep walking around.
Yeah, he check just to see if anything new happened.
Well,
Right.
it's
Since
actually
he
not
actually
like
did.
Christmas. It's like the night before Christmas.
Yeah, true.
Because all you do is you just stare at all
like
the
you're looking
things
for
that
your
you-
present to buy.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Okay. Should we move forward?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sweet.
Would you rather?
What the heck? We're just going
so
with
much
that one.
energy.
Let's get moving.
So much energy.
Okay.
Would you rather, Jared?
Okay, guys. This episode's Would You Rather is.
It's like its own show.
Would you? It is. I hijacked it. So you have a few bucks in your pocket, and you need a new acoustic guitar.
Who doesn't?
I actually will be in the market soon for one. Go ahead.
So you go to the guitar place, right? The guitar store.
The guitar show.
Or
place.
you can go to the guitar show as well. I'm sure they're there. So you have a choice. You have 2 choices here. Would you rather have a new Martin D28, or would you rather have a Gibson J45?
Okay, now, before we go any farther, explain a little bit about each of those guitars so that the people who are just driving along aren't trying to do math in their head with all the numbers that are being thrown
Googling.
at us.
A Martin D28, and I don't know a lot about them, but I
That's
believe
not a
they're
good way to start. But
right.
anyways,
But
Tony,
I believe they're the kind of the middle of the road model of the Martins.
Yeah, they're both guitars that you were talking about are what are the working man or working musician guitars.
right, but they're still very high quality.
Yeah, a D28 is a traditional dreadnought shape, which means it's like that,
and no
Right.
cutaway.
and no cutaways. Although they both are available with cutaways, but in
But
this
a
we are
dreadnought.
talking no cutaways.
Dreadnought is no cutaway.
The Gibson J45 is similar in shape, but it has softer shoulders, so it's called a Southern Jumbo at SJ. Sexy.
I like the sound of that Southern Jumbo.
I want to
love some
reiterate
soft
here too
shoulders.
that they are compared to what you would usually get today. They are both very high quality instruments.
Yes.
And so,
Well,
would you rather? Which one would you rather have?
Well, hang on. I would rather find out a little bit more of these before I rathered.
All right, that's right. We got to rather the Gibson.
So
yet.
it's interesting you said the Southern Jumbo. There's a couple other models that are referenced as jumbos, but arguably the most famous jumbo is the Gibson Jumbo, which is jumbo.
Oh, you're talking,
big jumbo.
Yeah, that's like a J200.
Yeah, so it's weird when you see things that are saying like, oh, this is a Southern Jumbo or a blah blah jumbo, and you're like, that's not a jumbo.
It's standard size.
Right, but it's just what they decided to call them.
Exactly. So yeah, the SJ, Southern Jumbo J45, is what Gibson decided to call essentially a dreadnought size guitar.
Right. But the soft shoulder isn't. I mean, I don't know if it has an acoustic nature to it or it's just a look. But
I think it's more a look.
It just doesn't look. It's just a little bit more unique looking. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little less boxy.
Yeah.
So which one would you rather
hang on.
I knew you were waiting for me to say something.
The fretboard inlays. What are we talking about here?
Both are
Both
dots.
Both dots.
They're no fancy. Nothing,
Rosewood, right?
Nothing fancy.
Okay, and the bodies?
Binding on the D28.
Ooh,
I know that.
I do a nice binding.
Usually it's spruce tops on both.
Right. And on the back of the D28, there's a center bind.
Usually the Martins would have a rosewood back and sides, and generally the Gibsons have a mahogany back and sides.
Yeah.
Mahogany neck on both.
To me, the rosewood just pops a little better with a clear finish.
It sounds different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, visually, it seems like it's more grainy and more poppy, because mahogany's isn't that more of a darker,
It has grain in it too. I mean,
it does,
but generally speaking, even Indian rosewood has a little more pattern, I guess you would say, to it.
It seems a little more reddish to me. On the rosewood does.
Really?
That's what my
Anyways,
eyes
well,
do.
this is riveting. So the
Yeah, we are really digging into
the
these
J45
things.
has what I guess you might call a sunburst on it.
Yeah,
could say that.
45. A J50 would be a natural.
Right, and the Martin D28 is, when you think of acoustic guitar, that's exactly what it
Right.
looks like.
Yes.
Okay,
Natural finish.
everybody ready?
Yes.
All right, Mike.
I'd probably have to go with the Martin. The Martin. Like, when I go to different guitar shops and stuff, I always find myself picking up a Martin. And I've done, I've tried the Gibson and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just like the way a Martin feels. And to me, I like the way it sounds. I don't dive too much into the acoustic area, but I enjoy a nice solid Martin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's
Okay,
yeah. I don't really have too much input on this.
that's okay.
topic. Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah.
All right, Jared.
Man, it would depend which one sounded better that day. I know it's funny. However, in my opinion, I've never heard two of the same acoustic guitar
Totally
sound
true.
the exact same.
100% true.
So gosh, man, for today's Would You Rather sake, I'm going to go with the Martin. I love you, Gibson, but daggone it, Martin to me generally sound better acoustically.
All right, Tony.
Well, I've already got a J45, so I'm going to go with the Martin, just to be different.
I actually have a Martin too.
Yeah. No, you have a very nice Martin.
Thank you. It's the veterans version.
I too am going to go with the Martin because I have an Epiphone EL00, which is it looks like the baby brother to the J45, but it's it's basically the Robert Johnson model guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a
Like
parlor. It's not a
little bit larger
parlor.
than a
It's
bar.
like a little, almost like a concert. What we call a concert.
I'm sure it sounds good though.
Yeah, it sounds. I love the way it sounds. I really, really love the way it sounds. Anyways, cool. Yeah, Martin all around.
Nice.
Cheers or something.
Here's our friends in Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen, and everybody else who has stuck with us this entire time, thank you so much. This is always an amazing time. And now we're going to go get some pizza because we're getting hangry. Subscribe!
Yeah.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs to help keep this podcast ad-free and ensure that we keep bringing you the best show we can. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.